Hey guys, welcome to the latest edition of the Muir Reflection. John from the John Muir Show here. And I mentioned it at the end of the show, didn't really have time to go in depth into it, but we're going to talk about this. In the past 24 hours, there's been this back and forth that's begun between two of the Democrats seeking their party's presidential nomination in 2020. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. That's right. So yesterday, word got out that the Warren camp is essentially accusing Bernie Sanders of being a sexist. They claim that back in late 2018, Warren and Sanders got together at Warren's apartment in Washington, D.C., and they started talking about, okay, both of us are going to end up running for president. How do we want to approach this? Maybe not attack each other because we don't want to hurt the progressive movement. And then at some point, Warren allegedly claimed that she feels she would be a really strong candidate in part because she is a woman and she could get the female vote. And Warren's team alleges at that point, Bernie Sanders said, I do not believe that a woman could win the presidency. So that's the claim you got from Elizabeth Warren's team. Bernie Sanders' team has come out and pushed back, saying, no, that never happened. The senator would never say such a thing. Warren herself, though, last night claimed, yes, this actually did happen. Bernie did make this statement about how he doesn't think a woman can be the president. So who knows what to believe at this point? I wouldn't I wouldn't bet my boots on the word of either Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders. So maybe we'll find out if this actually happened or not. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But nonetheless, I mean, this really is the movement eating itself, because for so many of the leaders of today's Democrat Party, it is always about identity politics. Everything has to be about dividing people based on their immutable characteristics, whether it be if they're a man or a woman, whether it be if their skin color is white, yellow, red, brown, or black, whatever the case is. So much of it comes down to identity politics. So often, so many of these Democrat elites go around baselessly demonizing their political enemies as being some sort of a bigot, a racist, a sexist, you name it. I mean, it's gotten to a point where those words, racist and sexist, they have been so watered down by elites in the Democrat Party throwing the labels out left and right on totally irrelevant matters. I mean, if someone disagrees with them politically on a matter that has nothing to do with race, nothing to do with sex, nobody talked race, nobody talked gender, none of that stuff, they will still go out and call their opponent a racist or a sexist because they don't actually have a policy argument to counter what it is their opponent had to say. So instead, they try and change the conversation by demonizing their opponent because, I mean, who wants to be on the same team as a racist or a sexist, right? So anyway, so often that's what Democrats do. Now you got Elizabeth Warren doing it to one of her fellow Democrat presidential primary opponents, somebody who's pretty damn far to the left in Bernie Sanders. I mean, really, they say the movement ends up beating itself. It seems that's what's happening here, because now you got Elizabeth Warren going out there and calling Bernie Sanders a sexist. So, hey, we'll see what ends up happening. It seems that there's a good possibility that Warren's only doing this because she sees her numbers, her support going down in a lot of the Democrat Party's beloved polls. So it seems that this might just be some sort of a desperation shot being taken by Elizabeth Warren. I mean, she wouldn't be the first one to do it. Keep in mind, when Julian Castro's campaign was failing, when Cory Booker's campaign was failing, they too busted out the identity politics, and, well, didn't end up going too well for them, as both Castro and Booker have since dropped out of the Democrat primary. It seems that Warren might be following that path, thinking she too should go invoking identity politics. History's taught us anything, identity politics does not work, but we will see if it works in the case of Elizabeth Warren. I just hope the two of them, Warren and Sanders, start going back and forth and just shouting at each other during the Democrat primary tonight. I'll have my popcorn ready, that's for damn sure. That's all the time we have for today. More of the John Muir Show tomorrow and each and every weekday, 8:40 a.m. on WTAQ, 9 a.m. WSAU and WHBL. Till next time, I'm out.